So I am back from outer space. When I mean outer space, I mean Spartanburg, South Carolina, the upstate. Day 2 of Panthers training camp, and I'm in a more familiar setting, back in the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk headquarters. I'm going to do the same format I did yesterday. You guys seem to like that video where I give my 3 biggest takeaways and then a rapid fire at the end, of course, with the other things that I noticed in observation. So we got a jam-packed video today because today's practice was very interesting, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. What up, dude? What's going on, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. Recap and analysis of the Panthers is what I do here. If you did not know, now you know. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Did I just rhyme? I didn't even mean to. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, man, because I'm at every practice for training camp. I'm putting miles in the whip. So make sure you are subscribed and stay up to date on all these training camp updates, because I'm going to do recaps pretty much every day. We're off day tomorrow for the team, so I'm going to be doing an extra breakdown probably about what I noticed out of the first 2 days. So if you don't want to miss all that training camp content, make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell icon. And also, if you want to show a little bit of appreciation for your boy suffering in the heat and sneaking and geeking, getting these clips when technically it's a little bit frowned upon, you can hit the super thanks down below. It's like a tip jar for creators, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate any kind of appreciation you guys show. But the headlines from today, the first one and the biggest one that I noticed is there were some struggles offensively, and it's just a little bit of sloppiness. Now, after that big first day, y'all know how excited I was yesterday's video. I talked about Bryce. Everything was gravy. Today, not so much. And it wasn't so much on Bryce. Bryce did throw his first interception of camp, got it out the way. However, it wasn't really just a bad decision or a bad throw. It just seemed him and Hayden Hurst were on different pages in terms of communication. And even Coach Frank Wright said that Hayden Hurst ran the route wrong. I'll show you the clip right here. Maybe you can see it, but it's the emotion again. Oh, interception. First pick of camp.
Oh, that's C.J. Henderson.
Woo! I think if I told you that C.J. Henderson would be the first Panther player to pick off Bryce Young, you probably slap me silly and unsubscribe from the channel. However, in 2023, strange things happen, and C.J. Henderson got the first pick on Bryce. Regardless, that wasn't just the only mistake. There was some sloppiness every so often. Ian Thomas had a drop that was kind of on an inaccurate throw from Bryce, but Bryce did come back to him. There was multiple fumble exchanges, one with him and Miles Sanders, 2 that I counted as well with terms of Laviska Shenault on a kind of a trick play, end around play, trying to get him the ball. And then the offensive line had a bunch of blown assignments in the run game. Brian Burns made himself very familiar with the backfield because the offensive line couldn't really get hands on him. And Bryce actually kind of, he did a play action pass one play, and the defense was collapsed on him so much, he just kind of balled up like this and gave up and didn't even try. And so it just lets you know that the offense was not in sync. And every day is not going to be their day. Yes, the first day was amazing. It was a great start. I was super excited. But this is training camp. We do that to work out all these kinks. You want to start putting together consistent, good days, but days like this are going to happen. You want to get it out your system. They're trying a lot of different things. They're moving Laviska Shenault around everywhere. This is new territory as far as what they're working with together at Bryce and the first team offense. Yes, they did stuff in OTAs, but this stuff is still new for everybody. They're getting used to the tempo, the conditions with fans out there, the heat. It's a lot of different moving parts. So everything's not going to be perfect from day 1 or day 2. So I'm not really panicking about this. Growing pains happen. It's a part of life. So you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about some of the offensive struggles that you've heard about. You've probably seen in the headlines and stuff online and stuff, and you probably have some thoughts. So I want to get you guys' thoughts about how you feel about the offense struggling. You think it's just growing pains? You think it's we too much too fast? Are you a little bit concerned? I want to get your thoughts down below. The next biggest takeaway that I noticed is, man, hey, I talked about our linebackers yesterday, but I want to emphasize it again because today was another great day. The depth of our linebacking core may end up being pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the pads aren't on, so we're not going to learn a lot, but we know we have 2 top-notch linebackers in Shaq and Frankie Louvu. But I talked about Kamu Greer-Hill yesterday, making that phenomenal interception on Andy Dalton. Guess what? Deja vu all over again. Kamo Gregier-Hill picked off Andy Dalton yet again, man. It was another nice interception. And this guy was just brought in to be a special teams guy. But he's continued to make splash plays on back-to-back days. And the Panthers may have them another type of playmaker. Frankie Luvu was supposed to be a special teams type guy when we brought him in. Remember, Frankie had so much energy on special teams, but he just kept making so many plays that they had to put him in the lineup. And even Shaq Thompson had comments after practice saying that Kamo's making so many plays that they're going to have to force the coaches to put him on the field. If the guy's going to be a ball magnet like that and keep making smart, crazy athletic plays, you have to find ways to get him on the field. The same way you put playmakers on offense on the field, you do that with your defense. And I honestly, after yesterday's practice, I was like, man, if Kamo can keep doing this, which he did, I was like, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Brandon Smith, second-year linebacker. Where does he fit in the lineup? Lo and behold, Brandon Smith had a splash play of his own. Yes, he made playmaking on defense. Steven Sullivan, the big tight end, number 84, caught a pass from Andy Dalton, and Brandon Smith had a nice peanut punch, knocked the ball out from Sullivan. The ball bounced perfectly, hit the ground, and came up to him. I'll try to insert the clip here. It's going to be very hard to see because the Panthers, they like I said, have frowned upon getting these clips. Sullivan. So you can see it a little bit, but it's still hard to see. But regardless, a precise peanut punch. It happened so crazy. I was following the play with my camera, and I was still following Sullivan. Meanwhile, Brandon Smith is going the other way, dancing in the end zone. It would just happen that fast. It's so smooth, and I'm excited about seeing this from our backup linebackers, making more splash plays at this point than our starters. Yes, Shaq has made some plays in the run game, and Luvu has been all over the place as well doing the run game, but it's hard to really see their effect doing those run plays when we don't have pads on. But like I said, in coverage, seeing these guys strip the ball and everything, I like that. And the defense really made a huge point of going at the ball today, and it may be a reason why the offense was struggling themselves. The defense gets paid to do a job too, guys. So that's why I'm really not panicking about our offense as well. I would hate for our defense to just get beat up by our offense all day, especially with a rookie quarterback. I want to see the defense punch back, and that seems like what the theme of today partially was. Yes, the offense had, like I said, they had their own struggles, but the defense, you got to give them some credit for forcing those type of issues. So I really like what I'm seeing for these linebackers, man. And if we can have this kind of depth, this rotation is going to be great. We're going to have depth just in case any kind of injuries happen. When you have guys like this that are fighting to get on the field, that are making it hard to keep them off the field, that's a great problem to have. Competition brings out the best in people. Like I said, I was worried about Brandon Smith, but it seemed like he took that step today and made that play. We'll see how it carries over on Saturday's practice. And, of course, next week when pads go on. You guys let me know down below in the comments. Hey, how you feeling? You buying into that Kamo Gregier-Hill hype train? I'm going to keep talking about it if he's going to keep making me talk about him, man, because he keeps making play after play, man. So let me know what you think about the Brandon Smith as well, and how you think these guys are going to go, how you think it's going to shake out, because linebacker 3 and 4, it's between those two guys, of course, so we'll see what happens from there. And the last thing I want to talk about is the wide receiver depth. Now, a lot of people have been talking about who's going to be our wide receiver 1. We don't really have a bona fide guy, da-da-da-da. For all intents and purposes, starting out, it seems like Adam Thielen has been the favorite. But like I told you guys yesterday, Bryce Young has been dealing. He has not really discriminated against anybody. The only really legit receiver that hasn't really made any kind of splash plays yet is Terrace Marshall Jr. He usually wakes up in camp anyway. He's had great camps since he's been here in Carolina, so I'm not really worried about Terrace. But the splash plays have definitely come from Thielen. Catching a deep ball today, being wide open. Crossing routes and being dependent for Bryce. He's everybody's favorite receiver, man. He tends to find his way to get open everywhere, and he's even going deep. So all the allegations of him not being able to separate and not being able to get open, if you play any kind of zone coverage against him, he's going to find his lane, and he may end up being wide open. But DJ Chark continues to show why he was brought here, the deep route. He has very deceptive speed because of that stride. But once he gets that step and he stacks you, this guy is 6'4", man. He runs like a gazelle. He went and got another deep ball today. It was just beautiful. Did the same thing in one-on-ones as well against Rajon Wright. Really just showing that speed and what he can bring to the field. So And even Mingo got involved, laying out full extension. It was beautiful. Bryce led him a little bit too far, but Mingo made him look good. You love to see that rookie-to-rookie connection, and it's good to see him actually make a splash play and get involved. I think it makes the fans feel a lot better about our second-round pick. But I think that the heavy concentration has been on Thielen, Chark, and Laviska Shenault, man. I've talked to you guys about Laviska. I'm going to probably have to do a whole video on him since we have an off day on Friday, just because showing what they've been doing with him. They've been lining him up in the backfield, but they've also been giving him a lot of crossing routes, square in routes, in breaking routes across the middle. He has that solid frame, so he can go across the middle, take some contact and fight through it, still break those tackles, still make catches, and make plays happen after the catch. But also being able to move him around is something that these people, that defenses have to account for. And I'm going to demonstrate in my video the effect that he has. He may not be Christian McCaffrey, but his type of versatility has a Christian McCaffrey-like effect where the defense sees that he's in a spot that he's not normally in, and they have to go, they attract there, and it opens it up for somebody else. So I'm loving what they're doing this receiving core thus far. Even guys at the back of the depth chart, like Demir Bird, Shai Smith has made some plays. Gary Jennings, I got to shout out Gary Jennings. He has had 2 great catches. He's number 86. He looks like number 88 out there when you see his jersey from afar, and a couple times I mistake him for that, but he's been making plays. So shout out to Gary Jennings, the young guy. He's a fringe roster guy, but I had to shout him out and give him credit. I always like to give the smaller name guys credit at camp, because these are guys that the bigger media guys and the beat writers aren't going to talk about. But me being boots on the ground, I want to make sure I shed some light on these guys so you guys know. So look up Gary Jennings, man, number 86. He's been making some plays ever so often when he's gotten some opportunities. Regardless, that receiver room is crowded, because even Derek Wright, number 83, I showed you on that double move. He beat Wright yesterday on it. But Derek Wright, again, making more plays again, man. He's been eating. So it's going to be interesting to see how this depth chart lays out. But I think we have a good mix of skill sets that I feel good about our depth chart. The more and more I see them, it'll be interesting to see in the joint practices against those great corners from New York, the Jets, and see how they do. But you guys let me know how you feel about our wide receiver core and what you've heard thus far. And do you think there's going to actually be a wide receiver one to shake out like Thielen or something like that? Or do you think it's just going to be by committee, like I said, with Bryce spreading it around? I want to get you guys' thoughts down below. All right, so let's go quick rapid fire. I don't have too many notes for today, but it was a very reserved practice overall. The energy wasn't as high as I would have expected. A lot of run plays and screens put in, and they even put themselves on the far field. So I don't know if it's because some of my fellow Panthers YouTubers got in trouble, which is they're trying to prevent recording and audio recording and video recording, which is why they moved it. But it was very difficult to see what was going on and get footage. So that was just something to notice. But a couple other nugget in the the post-practice presser. DJ Chark is a very funny guy, but he actually pointed out that Bryce Young actually was a DoorDash driver his freshman year in college at Alabama. DJ Chark said he prides himself on getting personal with his teammates and asking like in-depth questions and understanding more about them as a person. And he said that he found out that Bryce Young was a DoorDash driver his freshman year. So he's just as humble as me and you. I used to drive Uber once upon a time a couple years ago, but Bryce Young, humble beginnings. So shout out to Bryce Young and shout out to DJ Chark. The next one is I want to talk about some of the rotation they've been doing, because obviously it's the first couple of days of camp. There's no pads on. The team is experimenting. Frank Wright said it. They asked him about what's some of the combinations and the things they've been doing. He said it's good to have depth, and they want to try some things. Because when I went in and saw that offensive line group, I was a little bit scratching my head, because the backup left tackle was none other than Michael Jordan. Yes, Michael Jordan, that played guard last year, has been getting reps as the second left tackle. How long will that hang around? I don't know. But you may be saying, okay, hey, where's Cam Irving? If Michael Jordan's going to be the left tackle number 2, where's Cam Irving? Cam Irving actually been right tackle number 2. So in the second team offense, it's been Cam Irving at right tackle and Michael Jordan at left tackle. If you're a Panthers fan that's been here a couple years, you probably get the heebie-jeebies just thinking about them potentially being our tackles protecting Bryce Young. But it kind of is what it is at this point, man. So they're just experimenting with some combinations with what we have. Obviously, they're just messing around. So this camp, they're going to try some stuff, man. So don't be alarmed, but I thought I would be remiss to not point that out. And last but not least, Steve Smith has been trolling the Atlanta Falcons and Desmond Ridder. So Desmond Ridder, you guys know, he's a 3rd, 4th round pick. He's going to be starting for the Falcons this year. We're going to face them week 1, of course. The Falcons, like the Panthers do, they posted highlights from practice and they posted an interception. They did not show who threw the interception. So Steve Smith, he got on there and started trolling them, talking about who threw that. Why do they have Desmond Ridder in witness protection? We need to know who it is. And some Falcons fans caught wind of it. They even started trolling and talking about the same thing. They were like, why are you trying to protect Desmond Ridder? We're going to find out anyway if he's trash and stuff like that. But some Falcons fans took a lot of offense to it. And when they heard about Bryce Young throwing his first interception today, they was tagging Steve Smith. They was talking trash to him on Twitter. It's just good back and forth. I'm just so happy that we're finally talking trash with division opponents and outside of the fan base, and not us really talking to either random Bears fans that happens for no reason or each other within the fan base. We're actually going at our division rivals. This is what we want. We want a little bit of hype to be built up for that week 1 game so it could be some friendly trash talk. I will be in the building, so I'm going to be talking my trash. So I'm really excited for that game. It's going to be, I'm going to try to keep stirring the pot myself to try to make this week 1 game a little bit more exciting. Then it's going to be hard to get even more exciting. It's going to be Bryce Young's first start in week 1 of the season. It doesn't get more exciting than that, but a little bit of extra motivation sprinkled on when the fans have a little bit of rivalry online. So you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about Steve Smith trolling and the Atlanta Falcons 85 South rivalry churning up a little bit more. I want to get you guys' thoughts about that. But without further ado, I am Aaron Duncan signing off. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Like I said, if you want to see more videos, hit that bell icon as well. That way you get notifications. Give the video a thumbs up, please. It really helps me out in the algorithm. I'll see you next time. Peace.